Now, over the last few months, I have probably done, I have done dozens of interviews where at some point in there, I try to ask the person, what is some kind of a win-win solution you can come up with that would bring the government and the liberty activists in New Hampshire to an accommodation of some kind that benefits both sides. And the one common denominator I seem to get with all these discussions is that no one can really come up with many. They tend to just repeat their position, right? Well, that's what mediators are for, and that is my idea for a win-win solution that would address this whole problem of the win-win solutions not really being exactly win-win solutions. There was a YouTube video I was watching about 3 months ago. I don't remember the guy's name who made it, but it will appear down here along with this URL probably. He does really good videos. He's sort of an historian, kind of an academic, it sounds like, and he had a guest on his show one day, and I don't remember the guest's name, but again, I will probably put it down here later after I have a chance to go back and look it up. His guest apparently moderated a settlement between the Peruvian government and the Ecuadorian government. Maybe Ecuadorian government. Now, as you may know, since 1940, there's been a simmering border dispute that has occasionally involved shooting over some disputed territory. Basically, Peru, if I recall correctly, invaded Ecuador during World War II and took a bunch of territory, and they've been occupying it. But anyway, this disputed area, what this guy did, this mediator, he made an agreement. He likes to think outside the box. He's a Norwegian guy, doesn't have a dog in the fight. He thinks outside the box, and what he developed between these two combatants was a solution where they turned the disputed area into a jointly administered national park. Now, that's not a solution I would have thought of. It doesn't sound perfect to me, but it sounds better than shooting each other. He at least claims that it's going great. I haven't checked. I should probably look on the internet, see what the latest status is between Ecuador and Peru. But I certainly haven't heard them in the headlines lately, and that's good, considering where they were 5 or 10 years ago. But anyway, my brainstorm is that maybe liberty activists could reach out to this guy, liberty activists in New Hampshire, or the Ron Paul movement could reach out to this guy. The liberty movement somewhere could reach out to that guy and have him mediate some kind of a settlement between that movement and the government that is persecuting it. This seems to be especially useful in Keene, although it's kind of a small scale for such a large figure, where you've got obvious, I don't know, what's the right word, Egypt-style things are happening there. There are two obvious and relatively clearly drawn sides, and they are probably both looking for some kind of mutually agreeable settlement that involves fewer people being hassled or hurt or inconvenienced or whatever on both sides. So that would be my idea for a win-win solution, and I don't really know how to make it happen or whether this is the right guy to do it. But certainly a Norwegian who's a mediator and diplomat type dude would have no dog in this fight, and might be someone to reach out to. Maybe he's too big. Maybe there's someone else that we could reach out to that would be mutually acceptable to both sides. But sooner or later, this is going to get to a point where the conflict is so big that it does need to be mediated. Right now, people don't maybe think of it as needing mediation, but it either does or it will. And that's my thought for a win-win solution. Find a mediator, get them in between New Hampshire's liberty movement and whatever governments they're having problem with, or between the Ron Paul movement and the federal government, something like that, and work out a way out for both sides. What's that? That's just the capital of West Virginia. A very lethargic version. I was told to say that.